Welcome to your Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends. We hope that you have gotten out there, maybe done some skiing or some snowboarding recently because the snow has been in such great conditions. I'm your host, Maddie Evans, and I love getting to be here each and every morning with you. You can tune in to Wasatch Weekends Friday, Saturday, or Sundays starting at 7 a.m. and you can always catch us online because we do love to bring you all of the great community information. Now we've got a good show in store for you as we're going to introduce you to some great local authors. Maybe you're looking to change the way you live, or maybe you want to change careers. Well, then we've got two incredible authors that are going to give you some more information on how you can do so. We're also going to take a look at that local weather forecast. Now, if you have not yet gotten out to Park City Film and seen the EO, then we highly recommend that you do so. Hear from the TV station to you because that film is incredible and it's about that adorable donkey. Now, let's take a look at that local weather forecast.
This resort report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Are you looking to shift careers? Have you always wondered what goes on when you give your resume to a company or how you could improve your resume? Well, then we've got an expert to chat with us about what you could do better and what actually happens with those resumes. So we want to introduce you to Bill Humbert. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Maddie, it's so great to be here. Thank you.
You're on your third book, and all of your books, I looked online, have raving reviews because they're so beneficial, and especially now, this day and age, there's so much technology that people are always like, oh, the resume is not that big of a deal, but it is.
Well, it is, and if you work your search correctly, it isn't. And so that's the dichotomy that people have to deal with.
Now, you've been doing this job where you've been helping people recruit and being a great recruiter and a talent attraction consultant. That's a tongue twister as well. How long have you been doing this?
I've been a professional recruiter for over 40 years. I started in 1981. And, oh gosh. And I've done 26 years of career coaching when I don't have recruiting contracts.
So what makes you an expert on resume writing?
I've read over 400,000 resumes since 1981.
And how long do you spend on reviewing a resume before you decide if that's the right candidate for you or not?
So Maddie, let me throw that back to you. How long do you think I spend on each resume?
I'm going to say 10 minutes tops.
I was timed in 1993 by Andrea. And I went through about 150 resumes. And when I got finished, I didn't even know she was standing behind me. I was so focused on reading those resumes. And she said, I just timed you when you read the resumes. And I went, really? And she goes, yeah. And I went, so what'd you find out? You spent as little as 2 seconds on a resume and as much as 12 seconds on a resume. You averaged 6 seconds a resume. And Maddie, since that was 1993, I like to think I've improved since then.
I would like to think so as well. That is such a quick time to look down, see all the information, and see if it's a good resume or not. Now, when people are giving their resumes to companies to maybe apply for that new position, where do those resumes actually go?
In today's world, they end up in applicant tracking systems. And if you apply through a job board, many times a job board also screens the resume. So it gets into the applicant tracking system. And what happens is they have they call it artificial intelligence, but I call it artificial intelligence. And what happens is they compare your resume to the job description that generally is poorly written.
Which I think is important for people to be looking at, and especially as they're applying for their new jobs. Now, I mean, you've gone through so many resumes. So what makes a resume stand out from others so people can take this knowledge and then rewrite their resumes if they're looking for that new job?
The best thing to do is to make sure that your resume has all of the keywords that are in the job description. And if that keyword is in it 5 times, it has to be in your resume 5 times. Now, this artificial intelligence, unbelievably, doesn't read a past tense as being a present tense or a present tense as being a past tense. So you don't, if the job description had it in past tense and you put present tense on your resume, it doesn't count.
See, these are all things that I never knew. So do you have a real life story that illustrates how all of this works?
Yeah, I was coaching a Harvard MBA, and they were just lamenting that I can't seem to get interviews. I've got great experience. I've got a Harvard MBA. I can't get an interview. I said, well, do me a favor, send me your last job description that you applied for that you didn't hear from anybody. And then send me the resume that you sent to that company. And he did. And what happened was I ran it through, there's some software that anybody can use, and it's free if you don't want to go into a lot of detail. And it's called jobscan.co. And what it does is it matches the job description to your resume. And so this person got a 36 score. And I looked at the words that the resume did not have. And in the job description, for some reason, for this senior level position, they had high school diploma required. Now, let me ask you a question. How many Harvard MBAs are going to have high school diploma on their resume?
I'm going to confidently say all of them.
Well, none of them will say they have it. All of them will have had it by definition.
Right. Right. And those are things that, honestly, the younger generation might not know. Now, as we are advancing our technologies and we have things like LinkedIn, let's talk a little bit about how people could up their LinkedIn profile to be noticed by those jobs and those companies and those recruiters such as yourself so that their profile matches the goal of their career.
Well, the best way is to find the target company that you want to work for with the target position that happens to be open, if you're going to do it using LinkedIn. And then make sure that you use the same words that are in the job description in your LinkedIn profile. And I call that speaking their language. And when that recruiter reads that profile, they'll see that you're speaking their language and they're much more likely to contact you.
Now let's talk a little bit about your website really quickly, because you have a great website, therecruiterguy.com, correct?
Recruiterguy.com, yes.
Recruiterguy.com. Now, if people are interested in some of the great services that you offer, can you give us just a brief overview of what services you offer to help people?
Absolutely. So my number one business is my talent attraction consulting business. And that I work with companies to begin to attract talent as opposed to trying to acquire talent. I am also a speaker, National Speaker Association speaker, so I'm a professional speaker. And I speak on talent attraction, on career search topics, and then also on proper goal setting. And then my 3 books are there. And then I have a blog. The blog is Just Saying. And there's, oh boy, there's probably 300 blogs in there now. And so it's fun, it's informative, and you can see my speaker reel. And I I enjoy doing what I do. I love what I do. What I do.
Which it's never a day of work if you love what you do, and you're going to help people find those careers that they love as well. Now, if people are interested in your third book, Expect Success, where can they find it?
Well, Expect Success, The Science of the Over 50 Career Search has a 5-star review. And what's really cool is the reviewer said, you know what, you don't have to be 50. I wish I had this book when I did a recent search. It's available on Amazon, Barnes and Noble. And what's really cool is even Walmart online has picked it up.
Congratulations. That has to feel amazing as an author. Now let's talk a little bit about the other books that you have written and where people can find those and what they are about as well.
So Recruiter Guy's Guide to Finding a Job is now out of print. That one I wrote in 2010, was published in 2010. Employee 5.0, Secrets of a Successful Job Search in a New World Order. That one's also really important for college students because there's a chapter in there that's just totally devoted to college students and internships and the importance of internships and how to find that first career job after graduation. And that's also available on Amazon. And then Expect Success.
Bill, thank you so much for taking the time, chatting with us, giving us all this great information. And now if I'm ever in the market for a job, I'm coming right to you.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing you someday, Maddie.
Hopefully, maybe not. I love what I do here. I think it's pretty amazing.
Awesome.
Bill, thank you again for taking the time to chat with us and giving us all this great information.
Thank you, Maddie. It was fun.
Make sure that you check out his website. That way, if you have any questions or maybe you're ready to make that career shift, well, he's a great starting point because he's going to help you find your dream job. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned. A woman who wears many hats just released an incredible book to help you find your true meaning of happiness, and that's Terry Sidford. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us this morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here because when I say many hats, speaker, author, podcast host, and a life coach, there's nothing that you don't do to help people really find their true enlightenment in this life.
Thank you. Wow, that's quite the introduction. I think that's been my life purpose, and I think I'm very lucky to have found that in my life. And to help other people is really what fulfills me. And I can relate to a lot of people because of what I've been through in my life. And my new book is my memoir. It tells every story about my life and how I had to overcome adversity to be strong. And that's why I can relate to most people. And I've been given a gift of learning from those lessons. And I turn trials into triumph. And I'm very proud of that in my life. And I want everyone to know that no matter what they've gone through in their life, that they can start over and that they can have a fulfilling life and a successful life. Just learn and grow from every experience. So that's really kind of the basis of it, with 3 concepts of truth, courage, love.
I was just going to say, so Truth, Courage, Love is your second book, but your first memoir. And I have so many questions only because what you did in this book is so inspiring. So what originally inspired you to write Truth, Courage, Love?
Well, I've been asked that one a lot. And really, it's because I had a really big birthday last year, and it kind of made me think about my life and how did I do so far? Is there still some lessons I need to learn? Am I at peace with everything? Am I proud? Have I left anything on the table? Is there anything else I need to do? And I sat there for a moment thinking, wow, I've had an interesting life, yet I am so proud of where I'm at and what I've learned. And now having a rough start, having a great ending to my 60 years. Yes.
You look amazing for being 60. No one would know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And it's even hard to say, but I'm proud. And now I want to give back. I really want people to know that no matter what happens, no matter what age you are, you can start again. Just learn, grow, and fulfill your potential at any time of your life. You can start over today in any moment. That's what I hope when you read my book, that you'll learn that, wow, she went through those things and she still was able to do the things that she's dreamed of doing or never even thought of doing in her life. And I really have a tremendous humbling appreciation.
Which is such an important message for so many people to have, no matter your age, no matter what you've been through, like you said, just to have that little bit of encouragement from someone like you is so empowering. And so let's talk a little bit about what the writing process was like.
Ooh, thank you. Interesting enough, which you'll read in my book, I was very, very insecure growing up from my childhood experiences, and I did not have any confidence. In fact, I remember going home and having to practice writing. I was very, I didn't do well in English or with my grammar. And someone asked me about my experience with coaching a lot of women and how strong they were. And I said, I know, they're so strong and they don't see it in themselves. And she said, well, why didn't you write a book? I looked at her like she was from, outer space. Like, no, I can't write a book. This is not me. And she said, Terry, I'm going to help you. So what I have learned in now my second book is that if you have a story or a message, you can get it out there and there's people that can help you. I just got this story out. I did a lot of writing and then I had someone help me with the grammar and making sure it's edited. And it's a beautiful process. And if I can do it, anyone can do it. And I know most people do have a story to tell. We all do. And so if I can write the book, which was hard. I mean, it's a lot of work. You have to be dedicated to it, but it's so worth it. So worth it.
Well, and it's so incredible for you to share your story now as you were writing this book, because it is talking about some hardship and it is giving that most vulnerable side to you. When you were writing it, did you have any moments of shock about how open you were being with the readers?
Yes, yes. Many, many times I thought, why on earth would I be telling this story? Or will people understand it? Or will someone be upset with this story? I mean, it's kind of the whole gambit. And I asked myself, well, it wouldn't be being truthful and honest if I didn't tell all the stories. And it's really what happened, and that's okay. And isn't it empowering to know that we can tell our stories and be okay with that? And we should be okay with that. And yes, so there's stories that were really difficult to tell, but I wanted to be transparent. I wanted to be honest. And I'm proud of that.
And your vulnerability is going to give so many other people strength. Just in having that kind of moment of comparison and that moment of truth that maybe you're going to help other people live, I think is so empowering. And so congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for being so wonderful to share all of this information with others.
Oh, you're welcome. It's really an honor for me. And I would just want to help everyone know that, you don't have to be defined by your past. You really don't. And you can turn trials into triumph. Just learn, grow, ask people for help. And you can still live the life of your dreams and your potential. That's the message I want everyone to know.
Which I think is such a wonderful message. Now, if people are interested, obviously, in reading your first book and your second book, where can they buy them?
On Amazon. You can just go to Amazon. You can either type in Terry Sidford, and that's Terry Sidford, and the title of my books, and they'll pop up. 100 Hearts spelled out, 100 Hearts, and Truth, Courage, Love.
Truth, Courage, Love sounds like the perfect book for maybe anyone going through some hardship. Now, you also have a great podcast, really giving people those extra stories for courage, to find their inner strength, and you really focus a lot on helping people find their true happiness. So let's talk a little bit about your podcast.
Well, I also started a group called Choose Courage Movement because I've started out kind of an expert with courage, and I wanted to share with the audience, or as many people as I can, these stories of courage. Because I think the more that we hear stories of courage through my podcast, and I try to have very interesting guests, is that the more we see it in ourselves. And the more that we see it in ourselves, the more courageous we become in a daily life. And so that's my whole goal. And it is so fun to find these amazing people and their amazing stories. So if there's anyone out there that feels like they do have an amazing story, I would love for you to contact me on that. I would love to interview on my podcast.
Which I think is so cool that you are giving people not only the platform to share their moments of maybe feeling their most courageous, but you're also giving people just that little bit of comfort knowing that there are people going through similar things and enduring similar things. Now, you're also a life coach. So if people are interested in maybe just having the opportunity to talk with you and listen to your story a little bit more personally and have you give them those words of wisdom that you so generously shared in your book, how can they do so?
They can contact me on my website, which is Terry, Terry, Sidford, SIDFORD.com, terrysidford.com, and just reach out to me and we can have a consultation to see if if coaching is right for you. I'm here to just help anyone take things to the next level if they feel like there's something that's in the way. And it's a fun and exciting process. It's like having your cheerleader right next to you.
Which I think everyone needs. My mom always says that to me. She's like, just rally your inner cheerleader, Maddie, and you'll be fine. You'll get through it. And so I love to hear that. And I really love what you do. I think that having people like you in our community, in our lives, and just out there to spread the positivity and really just that like driving force forward to help people find their best selves is so powerful.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. It's really feels like a dream for me to be able to do what I feel like is my life purpose. And that's what I like to help other people find in their life. Because once you're doing what you love and what really lights you up and inspires you, then it's contagious. It's just like that ripple effect. It will affect everyone around you. So it's really why we should all live our potential and our purpose in life.
You are a beautiful force to be reckoned with. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us.
Thank you so much. I'm really happy that I could have this time with you today.
We're really happy to have you, and we really do appreciate all the hard work that you do.
Thank you.
Make sure that you go on Amazon and you buy her book, and that way maybe you can share your stories as well, because it's a therapeutic way to find your inner courage. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back from the break, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.
This resort report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Thank you so much for tuning into your Sunday edition of Wasatch Weekends. I hope that you get out there. You maybe see some of that sunshine that we're hoping it comes through for the next couple of days. I cannot believe that we are 5 days into March already. I feel like time is flying by, but get out there, soak up that little bit of sunshine, enjoy that fresh new snow that we've been accumulating, and we'll see you on Friday. You can tune into Wasatch Weekends Friday, Saturday, and Sunday starting at 7 a.m. We'll see you next time.